My fear is that as the newspaper begins to give up these methods of conveyance and leave it to others to disseminate the news, that it also gives up ways to monetize the delivery of that news. There's a kind of journalism that can be supported under existing models. I mean, if I can make snarky comments about, things and I could do it for free, it doesn't cost me anything. To do what the Sun-Times has done, just in the past week and a week and a half alone with Roland Burris, that takes money. And that takes investment, and that takes the ability. It takes a lot of things to sustain that. And my fear is that there's two levels of journalism. It's one that you can support, and it's a model. You make a snarky comment, that kind of thing. There'll always be that. But what we'll lose is the kind of stuff that the Sun-Times has been doing, the Tribune as well, the real investigative stuff, the things that look at how the world really works. And I think, in conclusion, that in order to make sure that newspapers are continuing to do that, it has to hold on to these methods of conveyance. It has to be the gatekeeper and the producer. Otherwise, others make money off what they produce.
Barb Iverson?
Well, I think that's actually, I totally disagree with that. And what we're having now, this is not just a problem of the news industry. This is an economic change brought on by digital communications. And we're facing the assumptions, most of us, the assumptions that our whole life and our grandparents and everybody had about scarcity and abundance are flipped around by digital things. And Thomas Jefferson once said that an infinite or an abundant resource, once created, costs nothing to give away, and the creator returns the original. And he was talking about copyright in the original discussions in our country of copyright. And so there is a model where we give away what's abundant in the news business. That would be our good information. However, there's still scarce things about this information that we could charge for, such as the timeliness of the delivery, such as putting out a little bit of the information and then putting out an expert version for pay. And not all opportunities where we're making news now, not everybody in the silo and not every job that's making news now is going to be able to be captured by the news creators in the future. The best way to put this would be, do you want to have 20% of a huge, huge pie, or are you going to insist that you have 90% of an itsy-bitsy pie? And I think a lot of the traditional mindset is to still say, I got to have 90 or 95% of that tiny pie rather than going for the big one. The people that are going to make money in the scarce model are not guaranteed to make money in the abundance model, and that is very frightening, especially if you're like me and you're getting near retirement or something, or if you've put your job has always been in one of those jobs. But I had a great uncle that was a printer, and I watched when it went from hot type to cold type, that whole profession just went away. But that doesn't mean that we don't still have printed material.
But I think what people, I sense the reaction to that is, yeah, we still have printed material, but would we still have journalistically curated, created, edited news under this model?
I have 8 models.
Sure,
I identified 8 models that are out there today. Now, again, some of these are not making the maximum profit they could make for a variety of reasons, but you have like not-for-profits, like Jeff Doherty's and My Chicago Talks are making money. You have the patron model. I don't know if anybody has read Mark Cuban's stuff on this, where he's suggesting that sports teams pay and bankroll the salaries and the insurance and benefits of sports writers, and they give over the editorial control to the newspaper.
So Mayor Daley's press office
this would work.
I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of reporters they'd be happy to support.
The Rod Blagojevich story.
Yeah.
This model would work very well for franchise type of stories, but clearly it would not work for the big investigative stories. There's models where foundations are giving money to investigative, let's see, what was it?
ProPublica.
Yeah, ProPublica, where they're getting funding for that. There's an NPR-like model where a journalist can go out and ask for support. There's Spot Us for small stories, where a journalist can pitch a story and say, it's going to cost me $800 to do this story. I'm going to do it as a news package. I'm going to air it on such and such. And when they get donations, they run the story. And if they get paid subsequently, the donators get back the money. So, and-
Barb, I think you're overwhelming us a little bit with the 8 models, and I do want us to I want us to kind of get to this in a
That scares me, to be honest, because much of that isn't journalism, it's advocacy. I mean, it's not journalism. It's, I can pay for what I like, and I can cause to be created what I like, but that's advocacy, that's not journalism.